I have the clips. Okay, we are live.
We are, and you're first, so ready when you are.
Welcome to Slow and Steady, the podcast where you get to follow along as we build products in public. Each episode gives you an honest peek into our lives as we share our struggles, our wins, and everything in between. I'm Benedicta, and as you might hear, I'm feeling sick.
And I'm Benedict. Today is April 29th. This is episode number 242, and I'm feeling pretty chill today.
But
So yeah,
I
I
peeked at the notes, and you were handling support by yourself, and you're this week, and you're feeling chill.
yeah, so far so good. I hope I'm not jinxing it. But yeah, our support, like our main support person, Mia, is on vacation. I think she went hiking somewhere in South America. Um, so hopefully we'll see her again. um, but yeah, so this is me doing customer support this week and next week, and honestly, the only annoying stuff so far in customer support is the shitload of cold outreach for either link exchanges, guest posts, requests, or SEO and occasional podcasting advice. And I feel like most of my job doing customer support is like marking stuff as spam.
What
So
kind of
that's super
what help
annoying.
desk are you using? Because I think this is like one of those things where the help desk should be getting the AI to help out a little bit, like auto closing
Yeah,
things.
maybe. We're using Help Scout as our
Yeah.
shared support inbox, and they have some sort of spam filtering in there, but I guess it's not super good. I think it's mostly based on if you have marked an email as
Mhm.
spam, like all new emails from the same address will be marked as spam as
Mhm.
well. What we also do is that we route the email goes through Gmail or like Google Apps first before it gets
Okay.
delivered to Help Scout. And in there, it also does some spam filtering, but the only thing it does there is like adding a header. And I think
Yeah.
it would be nice if we could set up a rule in Help Scout to mark those as spam automatically.
Mm.
But at least last time I checked it, this wasn't a thing.
Mm.
Um, and also, the flip
It's
side of all of
weird
this,
what. Yeah.
uh, like we sometimes get legitimate support requests in the spam folder
Mm.
in Help Scout, which is
Yeah.
also a bit of a problem. So it's tricky. Like you don't want to see the spam, but you also want to make sure that nothing gets into spam by accident. So
Hmm.
yeah. Sorry,
No, I
I
was
keep
just gonna
rambling.
say
You
that
wanted to
it's
say
so
something?
fascinating what you can get in spam. Like we had this period when I was in support at Outseta where we were getting these like chiropractic convention emails where it's like, come to, learn more, like be a better chiropractor. It's like, like how did we get on that list? Like, what do we have to, what did we do to get on the list for like
Yeah.
dentists, United or whatever? No, so it was interesting to see what came through because I think we had a pretty good spam filter, but like sometimes, and it wasn't usually me who did that. It was, I guess, Evergreen support who was helping out did more of that kind of grunt work. But sometimes if I was logging on early from Norway, like nobody had been in there. And I was always fascinated. And I was like, do they work? That's like do they get a lot of signups for their chiropractor convention by spamming the world? Like I don't get the play,
Yeah.
um,
I
but I guess
I
that's
yeah, I don't get it either, but I guess it's maybe it's just people buying email lists assuming they are targeted, and that's just bullshit, right?
yeah. It's probably it sounded a lot like somebody bought a list, yeah. But you can just
Yeah.
continue on what you've done for work lately.
Sure. Yeah. So, yeah, mostly doing customer support this week. Also doing a little bit of like the adding more guardrails to our app in terms of like what combination of conditions are you allowed to set up, and what, like, how do workflows get structured properly, and stuff like that. mostly continuing the thread, like mostly to help AI adoption in the future, because most of the stuff that wasn't quite okay was just not possible in our UI. So we didn't really validate for it, but now we do, with more and more stuff, and it's kind of nice. Like, in a way, I should have done this from the start, but then also like getting all the little details right and figuring out what's actually correct and what isn't. And it was easier to just skip on it, but now tightening the bolts a little bit is a good idea. So that's mostly what I'm doing this week, and we're also continuing our work on, mostly still planning work on how we will do themes in the future. And it's blowing my mind that we've been doing this for the past 6 months or so. At least it's on the to-do list for the past 6 months, but I think we're only now getting into a state where we have done enough experiments to know what we can build and what we want to build, and then like putting it into concepts and designs and everything. Only now, and I guess it will be a couple more weeks before we can actually ship it, but it's coming together nicely. So yeah, excited about that.
I'm looking forward to seeing that your take on theming.
Yeah. We could probably do another episode about the how and what down the road, maybe when we're closer to launching it, because it's such a, like, if you hear it, it's like, oh yeah, well, make them look nice, make the emails look nice and everything, like, not a big deal. But like, the problem space is actually huge, and there's competing requirements that kind of rule out each other, and finding a good middle ground that kind of satisfies everything a little bit is insanely difficult. So we've been struggling with this a little bit.
A company I worked with, I think they ended up being acquired, but they had a big, not, I didn't work with, I had a talk with the Norwegian company. They were doing like doctor online, like you could have secure conversations with doctors and stuff. So they were doing very well during the pandemic. And they ended up building this whole like theme engine that was like super sophisticated, because people were buying this for their doctor office and they wanted to choose their brand colors and they wanted this and that. But they also had to comply, because this is healthcare, and healthcare has even higher accessibility standards than the kind of regular, I guess, EU laws or whatever. So they had to make sure that all like contrasts, rules were for being upheld. So I think they ended up like creating their own like algorithm thing where it was checking if they were choosing colors that weren't compatible, and that they could choose one color and they would create a palette, so that it would be less of a job for the person kind of setting up the theming. I think I had actually saw a talk on it. It was super interesting, and it looked like super simple but super complex in a way. Like the end game for the user looked very like when they were showing it off, but then all of the stuff that was going on in the background, like generating an accessible color scheme and all of that, which I think is easy. Like you can find open source things on that now, but then it seemed like they couldn't find anything that was doing what they needed. Confrere was the company. I think Cisco bought them or something. Somebody bought them at least.
Yeah, interesting. Like I don't think we have ventured into that direction yet, but like for us, it's mostly, so maybe taking a step back a little. Like for most, and please stop me if I have talked about this again before on the podcast, because I feel like I keep talking about this all the time these days. The big challenge for us is, compared to other email tools that mostly send newsletters, we manage your entire life cycle of emails, right? Like you might have onboarding campaigns that just get sent out again and again and again. Whereas like if you, I don't know, just like sending newsletters, it doesn't really matter what a newsletter looked like a month ago, because every newsletter is kind of new and fresh, and you can, like, if you update your design and your branding and your logo, you just like style the new newsletter to match the new design. But with user list, because we are managing your lifecycle emails and automations, if you update your branding, you have to update the design of all your emails. And we want a system that makes this easy, so you don't have to manually edit every single email and then open them all up next to each other and make sure they're consistent, stuff like that. So while we want people to be able to change as many things as possible and make it flexible enough, we also want a system that they can just like a wrapper thing that they can just apply to all their emails. And that's like one of those conflicts that we're trying to deal with. And it's challenging, but we're getting there. So it's nice.
I feel like it's worth separating the two, where you have like a more strict transactional template that is used for all transactional emails, and a more open, you don't like, you can have another master template for the newsletter that are less
exactly
less
that is
strict.
that is exactly what we're going to do.
Glad we're on the same page.
It's, like the plan right now is to have like themes, which are basically a set of branding settings like colors and logos and stuff like that. And then each theme has multiple layouts. That's the current working title for those, which then is like for the newsletter, for the transactional emails, for I don't know, other stuff. So you can have like different styles and stuff like that across what you're actually sending, but still have it consistent within your branding. So that's what we're currently working on for the most part. Other than that, we launched our webhook node for the workflows last week. I think I mentioned that we built them sometime in January, and have been polishing them a little bit over the last couple of weeks. Also adding like stuff you don't think of initially is like, with the webhook node, you can send web requests, like HTTP requests, to arbitrary addresses on the internet. But if you think about it, that code gets executed on our servers, and therefore, in theory, can also send requests to internal IP addresses on the local network. So we also had to like figure out like some security restrictions around that. So you cannot actually send a request to localhost or something like that, or something else on the local network.
Good old security practices.
Stuff like that. Or what if someone sends an HTTP request to 200 megabyte, a gigabyte video somewhere, and we download it? That's also not something you want to do. So it was a lot of work on the tiny little details, but now it's ready. Now it's launched, and I was happy to see that during the beta testing, one of our customers already created, I want to say like 50 webhook nodes across all their workflows, and they are all using them to send SMS from UserList, which is kind of cool.
Which is my first question on LinkedIn when you shared this, is like, can I send SMSs? Because this is a missing. You need to build this natively, Benedict. Soonish,
maybe eventually.
But it's really what is missing, at least for my work at We, where if I could have one system where, like you do, all lifecycle emails, all broadcasts, but also SMSs, because that's the only way we get people to pay if they have stopped paying, is by SMSing them nonstop until they contact us. Because and also we have service reminders, and those are on SMS. I think, at least for me, when I get service reminders in the email, it often I can sometimes I see them, sometimes I don't. And we want to add an early morning service reminder that is like, remember that you have, a service scheduled today, because now we do one day before, and our founder forgot and didn't show up for her service. She was like, maybe we should have one the same day. And those would, for a same day reminder, SMS is more correct, I think, because you're like waking up in the morning, and I mean, some people check email right there, as their first thing, but we don't want to encourage that. So and SMS. And it's actually been a pain that it's in different systems because, you know, opening hours change and then you have to go in and change that everywhere. And you can't use the same like little snippets. Anyway, get SMS
Yeah, I
on there and
mean,
WhatsApp because WhatsApp I'm even getting OTPs now on my WhatsApp. And DHL suddenly WhatsApped me and SMS'd me and emailed me about a package. But
yeah,
did they deliver? No,
no.
because DHL rants will start now. DHL has never successfully delivered a package to my house. It's like they fly. It's like they like speed down the road and then like you weren't home. You know, I have to. I think I have to physically stand on the road and like flag them down for them to um deliver anything. Now, the issue is they call, and if you don't pick up, they just don't come to your address. While I had
Right.
even added a safe location, like you are
Mhm.
allowed to put this in my courtyard. And Ulai's like, you're always so optimistic, but they have never ever. So next time, I'm just gonna choose a service point right off the bat.
Right.
Rant
Yeah.
over. But
In DHL's defense, around here they're pretty reliable, but I guess it depends on where you are.
yeah, in Norway they are not
I'm not even
reliable.
sure they're reliable across Germany consistently. I'm
Yeah.
just like saying at my specific
Yeah,
location, it's
I think
fine.
it's very. I think, and the hack I've learned that I actually should be using more is as I started ordering electronics, you know, as a company and not
Mhm.
as a person. And we got the nicest guy from Norwegian Mail, like Posten, which is used to be like
Mhm.
DHL in Germany, state owned and run. And he came here at like 1 and he was so happy. And like, I think getting on the like company rounds or like the business rounds, if
Mhm.
there are other people or if it's like higher, I don't know. He was like one of the happiest guys I've ever met. And he found this place even if I didn't pick up the phone, and I got things delivered like right into my living room. So kudos to oh, they're not called Post anymore. They're called Bring. Bring Bring Bedrift, which is like Bring company brand. Anyway.
Okay.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
green
I
instead of red. It's a big
I feel
difference.
like a lot, and as usual, right? Like a lot just depends on the people who are actually
Yes. I think
doing the
we got the
job, right?
nicest
Like,
guy on our route for business.
yeah.
Yeah.
And some of them
Anywho.
do an amazing job, and
Yeah.
some of them, I'm not even sure they're working, I guess. Anyway, enough of a rant about this.
Yes.
Where were we actually? I don't remember.
We working at SMSs. You need to have SMS in
Oh,
your
right, SMS. Yeah,
product,
yeah,
but
yeah.
but you don't, but you can make it happen with the
Yes,
webhook node.
you can make it happen with the webhook node. I am not completely opposed to adding SMS support. And honestly, someone else requested this last week or so. And honestly, the sending the SMS is probably the easiest part. The stuff I need to look into and research is like, how do we make a nice editor experience for this? What happens if you exceed the message limit? Like, sure, like we could easily add a validation that a message cannot be longer than whatever. What is it? 160 characters? I don't remember. But what if you're using liquid interpolation and then suddenly the message is longer? And how like that, like all those little edge cases around the actual sending, that's what's giving me the headaches, I guess. So I'm not saying we'll never do it, but not a priority as of right now. But I hear you. Like maybe I've built a feature once for you. Maybe
And I didn't become a customer.
you did.
Well,
You did become a
I
customer.
was a customer. I was a paying customer for years, so I feel like I paid
Yeah,
for
yeah.
that feature.
You more than paid for that feature and did not use your userless account properly, I guess. So thanks in hindsight, I guess.
I don't want to scam people.
Well, you didn't scam me.
No.
So
No, but I mean, like, I don't want to be the person who's like, I'll be a customer if this feature comes, and then you don't become a customer even if the feature.
right, yeah. But
Because
hey,
that
if you
gets
think about it, the reason that we're talking today is because of you
that.
being obnoxious about disabling click tracking. Because I think the story was something like you were looking for an email tool or something like that, and I was like, "Hey, check out user list," and you're like, "Yeah, but does it allow me to disable click tracking?" I was like, "No, but I can add it
Mhm.
if you promise to become a customer," and you did. And I think
Yeah,
then you did a live stream about setting up user lists, and that's how we started talking more. And well, the rest is
I think so.
history
That was
by
for POW
140
because
episodes.
I didn't want link tracking on newsletters for POW because if I was
Right.
sharing health articles and stuff, I didn't want to
Hmm.
know what people were clicking
Right.
because that felt a little invasive.
Yeah, that makes
Um,
sense.
yeah, and I think
Anyways,
also I think it makes sense anyway to be able to not record what everybody's doing with every email. Also, just
it's
for
also
your own
getting so
sanity.
it's so unreliable. Like it's a stupid metric by now. Clicks maybe not so much, but opens.
Yeah, but I
It's
also clicks because I've been sending some email. I still send my newsletter with ConvertKit, and within like 5 minutes,
mm,
all of the links have been clicked by a lot of people.
hmm.
And those are spam controls in, or like I guess like
Yeah,
security measures in larger companies. They will click on every link and see what is behind every link before the
yeah.
email arrives at the customer or at the receiver. I mean, so yes, I don't trust those because I used to use it for like asking questions and be like yes or no, but then they would click both because it was a automatic click on everything.
Yep.
So these things, all good things has to come to an end.
Yeah, everything turns crappy eventually, right?
Hmm. But
Anyways,
so that's
yeah.
that's
So
why I've been
maybe we'll add.
starting.
Yeah, go ahead.
I thought it was a nice segue to me. All this tech stuff is
Right.
so techy, and I've started woodworking. Well, I haven't really started. Lillian and I, well, I guess I started. Lillian and I started today on a lemonade stand for her,
Ooh,
um,
nice.
for the market. And that was just her idea. She was like, I'm tired of having to scramble around and find things to build a stand for every neighborhood market. So she drew a drawing, and then we looked at that, and she even built, we were like, okay, let's build a prototype in cardboard. So she did that. And then we went to the hardware store yesterday, and we're noobs. And we're like, we need to make this. What should we pick?
Here's the
And
cardboard model. What do we need?
and the first the guy was a little like skeptical, but then I think he thought we were pretty cute after having used the like cutting machine at the place to be able to, you know, transport this home because these were like 4 meter long beams and stuff. So he helped us carry it out to the car. And when Lillian was like struggling with her part of the load, so it got to be a very nice experience. And today we started cutting, and we made one side of
Cool.
the stand.
You definitely have to share photos, either of the process or of the finished product.
Ula has been filming us, so I am pretty sure there will be shorts on YouTube. Ula
Nice.
is handling our shorts. I usually don't know what comes there or not, but there has been filming of us, so I think there's gonna be some shorts. And while I was doing that, and after like cleaning up my courtyard and buying plants last week, I feel like I'm a developer cliche. You turn 40 and then suddenly you start wanting to do everything but be on your computer, or
Yeah.
at least spend where it's like, okay, I have an afternoon. Before it would be, oh, I have an afternoon off, let's make a fun side project or explore something that I haven't looked at yet. But now that is not the case. It's what can I do that is outside or off the computer. So I turned that corner.
Yeah,
And then
for sure.
I just want to tell people I'll be in New York So this comes out Thursday, probably Thursday or Friday. I'll be in New York all weekend, but then I will be busy with my bachelorette party trip. Um, but then on
Very
Monday
cool.
through Wednesday, I would love to meet up if you are in New York and want to meet up. And if there's more of you, we'll meet at more people at some place like we did in London a couple of years ago. That was a lot of fun. So let me know. You can like X me or LinkedIn me or even email me.
Or SMS you.
I don't know if I'm gonna put my number out there.
No, I'm just joking. Not seriously
I
suggesting you
think
should do that.
I think if you dig into web archives, I had my phone number on a couple of sites I made way back when. So if somebody manages to send me an SMS based on like internet information, which shouldn't be
They
too
get a free
hard,
drink.
they get a free drink.
That sounds like a good deal.
I think all you need to know is Norwegian a little bit because Norway's not so privacy focused when it comes to those things. Anyhow, so I'm also hoping that this head cold that I have just, miraculously evaporates when I hit JFK airport tomorrow.
Hopefully before that, because I feel like flying with a cold is like one of the worst experiences possible.
Yes, but I'll take it. I'll take it if like that's the end of it.
Yeah, sure. I can relate.
But then also America has the better head cold drugs, so this is solvable as soon as I land. Yeah, because we want to have a fun weekend, and I'm gonna
Yeah.
try to embrace all that is bachelorette things. I think they've lined up like looking at wedding dresses and stuff like that, which is I don't know why, but it's a little. I'm not super excited.
Let's see. Maybe you will end up being super excited. Who knows?
I mean, maybe. And my friend sat me down this Christmas and she said, Benedicta, I know you well, but now you're getting married and you just have to get aboard the wedding train and embrace the whole princess vibe and that you can just like decide everything. And like, this is a moment where you should just embrace all of that, like whimsy and princessy vibes or whatever. So I'm trying. And I think it's good for me. But
sounds like a lot of fun. Like
I'll report back.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to hear your stories, if you still remember them.
So it's not really. It's more of a bachelorette trip. So we were only 4 people. It's 3 of my friends from university who wanted to do this. So that was nice of them.
That's
And
nice.
at work,
Yeah, that's very cool.
yeah. It was kind of fun because I think, we're all over 40 and it's been like 10, 15 years since the last wave of weddings. So they are suddenly very excited as opposed to at the end of the last round where everybody was like, really? Another one?
Again?
Again, do we have to pay that much to go somewhere for the bride or whatever? And this actually came about when they were complaining. A friend of mine was complaining about that era. And then she looked at me and she was like, but now we have money. And then and then suddenly this trip was concocted.
But now we're also over 40, so let's see.
Let's see. It's gonna, But anyhow, on the work side, I've gotten back, like, I had some solid time working on Wii, which has been really nice, and done a lot of janitorial work that I hadn't kind of dared do before because I've had to be able to jump back in the next day in case something went wrong. So I did a major cleanup of the app that is our app now, or our website now, which is a Next.js Frankenstein. So I should have gone to GitHub and see how many lines of code I deleted. I've deleted so much code. There was a whole MVP admin app, so just completely deleted. deleted components that weren't in use, because at this point, if I pull this repo into a Claude project, for instance, there's no more context left. Like and it's this app doesn't do much. We've talked about this before. It's you order a bike,
Right.
you pay for it. There's a couple of blog posts, and that's about it. But it takes up of like the full context that is available in a Claude project. So also I thought it would be nice to just like delete as much as possible, both for me and for the AI when we are starting on our migration journey. And then I did the same thing with make scenarios. I think we had 37 make scenarios, or like up there in the 40s. And then it turned out that like half of them, I guess, were doing business logic around things we don't do anymore. So we don't have a Calendly integration anymore, but like there was at least 5 scenarios that were polling Calendly. So I managed to turn all of those off and then also mark them as archived in the title, because what Make does, if a scenario fails too many times, it just makes it inactive. And then you're like, did somebody turn this off? Because they
Right.
wanted to turn it off, or
Is it
didn't
supposed to
make
be off, or?
yeah. And then you say, oh, but just look at the history, but they only keep 30 days. And then some of ours have like failed, 2 months ago, and I hadn't had time to look at it. So using the Make MCP server was super helpful, because then I could be in Claude. It pulled in a list of all of the Make automations, and then also told me what nodes each of the Make automations were using. So then I could be like, okay, all of the Calendly ones, give me the task to archive those, and then also give me a direct link to the scenario. Because sometimes in Make, I feel things lag. Not much. It's gotten a lot better, but it lags enough that I often kind of forget what I was supposed to be doing while I'm in there, because it's that like just a little too much of a lag to keep me on task. So Jean-Claude was very helpful getting that cleaned up. And now, I should have noted down the numbers again, but now we don't have that many active Make scenarios. There were actually less than I thought that were active. And some of them have been working for like 6 years. The SMS reminder, for instance. So we're just going to keep those humming along, because we're at a plan that's like $36 a month. Like it's not breaking the bank to stay on Make.
Right.
But then for the rest of the project, I am working on a strangler fig pattern. I had to Google. I remember like learning about this even in school.
What?
So it's where you proxy so that you can have both applications running at the same time, and then for in our case, we will just start with like the static pages and replace them. So when you land on the next site, it will actually hit the Laravel site for that page. And then you keep doing that until nothing is left. And then you do the crossover instead of doing a big bang. And it's called strangler fig pattern because there's some in nature where there are these things that end up killing the tree. Like this other growth takes over
like
for that
poison ivy and stuff like that. Yeah.
But I think this is a nicer one where it's like what you end up with is a nice tree. It's not a poison ivy bush.
Yeah, I guess. Makes sense.
Yeah. And also I know, because I was thinking like, okay, the important thing is to get the big features over, but I think just starting with the simpler pages and just doing one by one and get a feel for how brittle things are. And also we are in the busy season, so the point is to not touch the checkout flow too much at this point, and we can just get everything else going and doing it one by one. I think it's a good approach. If I can get the proxy thing set up. But Jean-Claude told me that Next has a very nice like redirect configuration file that you can just configure each. So we don't really need to have like a proxy in front of that again. So we'll just start by doing that, and then I only have to replicate the design per page, and the kind of design system can grow out a little bit more organically than having to make a full design system. Because in the Next application we have now, we have 3 design systems, or like 3 ways, I think, of doing components and its code and stuff like that. So I don't want to replicate that. I want to replicate what we actually are,
Right.
moving into the to the new application. But
Yeah.
then there's the wild card because we've been working on the new logged in pages and it's almost done, but it's still not, the actual production logged in pages because we're missing 1 or 2 features. So I was like, okay, could I make the login work across both sites? And I think I could, but I do feel like that would be wasted time, since I'm very close to finishing it. Because the next site uses Supabase some reason to send OTP tokens, and then it sets some cookie, and then I'm not sure exactly, but that's the only thing Supabase is used for. So I have been thinking of, okay, I'm sending OTP tokens and everything in the logged in pages now. Maybe I could set a cookie that transfer between the two, but this is where I'm not that solid on cookies and auth to like open it up across sites. And well, I guess it's on the same domain. Maybe I could do
Yeah.
it. What's your
If it's
gut
on the same
feeling?
domain. I don't I don't know enough of what you're actually dealing with, but
Mm,
if it's on the same domain, cookie shouldn't be a problem, I guess. And especially if you're
no.
doing the strangling fig thingy, then
Think-
it's the same domain for sure. So I guess you
yeah.
get the same cookie across both. So could work.
Maybe I should give it like 20 minutes with Jean-Claude and just see
Yeah.
what he says. Because then we could just get this freaking new logged in pages on there and then have those 2 features that nobody almost never uses just be on the old site. And then we'll see if we want to replicate it at all. See, this is
Yeah.
good. Me thinking out loud.
Yeah.
But super nice to just be focused on one project. Surprise, surprise.
Yeah. 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 There's something to it.
There's something to it. And we're just gonna keeping on with we. But that's all for me. But I saw you had some social media updates that we didn't get to.
Yeah, because you mentioned shorts earlier. I started posting all of our, like, I recorded some videos over the last couple of months, right? Like not as many as I wanted to, but still, I think 5 or 6 by now. And I finally got around to posting them to YouTube. So we have a YouTube channel for years now, I guess. But because we don't like the YouTube player that much, we always ended up embedding Vimeo videos, or like
Mhm.
actually videos hosted on Vimeo, because like, I don't know, whatever, on our website, because they have a nicer player and get a little bit more out of your way compared to YouTube. So we have been neglecting the YouTube channel a bit
Mhm.
lately. But I got around and actually posted everything to YouTube. As well as the shorts I created. And it was nice to see that they got several hundred views within an hour or so. Probably no one cared, and they all swiped to the next one right away. But still, like, I think this is something we're going to explore a little bit more. Same thing with slow and steady videos. Krista has been doing the shorts and posting to Twitter for us for the longest time, but we'll also start posting them as YouTube shorts. I think the snippet from last week's episode about the Wii sponsorship for Lillian was the most popular one. So that has been interesting. However, last week when we launched the webhook node, I also created a short video to post on. I did post it on LinkedIn. I think I posted on all other platforms as well. I don't remember. But for whatever reason on LinkedIn, the video content doesn't seem to work for me. Like, in terms of, I get no engagement on videos for whatever reason, and I'm not sure why.
I have a note on that because I've done Krista posts snippets from this podcast on my
Right,
LinkedIn. That's been my main way of having something happen there while life has been doing its thing.
right,
And I don't think I've gotten any comments, maybe some
right.
likes. But when I meet people, they're like, I see your face on LinkedIn all the time.
Mm,
But I do videos with my
okay.
face, and they're like,
Right.
oh, you seem to know a lot about AI. You should come and talk about AI at my bank. And that's because of our
Mm,
AI snippets. So I don't know, like, I wouldn't know if
right.
that would be true for the kind of videos that you do that are more showcasing the product. But for me, at least, having that consistent, those snippets just consistently show up, even if people haven't engaged with them on LinkedIn, it has created an impression. I wouldn't say it's untrue either, but I feel like they have an impression that I'm more prolific and more expert. Yeah,
It's just
and
by the fact of being out there, I guess
being out
the
there and being
impression
consistent, or
goes.
like
Yeah.
even if it's not always on the same day, that kind of consistency, because the LinkedIn timeline is messed up now. Like I see events that happened 3 weeks ago. I'm like, yeah, no, okay, I'm not going to
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
because that was 3 weeks ago. But it seems to have helped amongst friends or amongst contacts that when I meet them out and about, they feel like we hung out, not 2 years
Right.
ago, but a couple of months ago, maybe. So I don't know if it's also that I mean, these clips are very raw and like just speaking, like we're speaking now, which makes it
Right.
feel like, your friend is just showing up in your feed. So I think I don't know if it would transfer to more like screencasty videos, in terms of
That's
what they give you.
that's a good question. I mean, I know of one friend that I talked to who mentioned, "Oh, I saw that video about whatever feature and didn't know you do that." So I guess it worked in that regard.
Mm-hmm.
And you
Because
you
I
bring up
think
a good point. I think it's easy to fall into the trap of like just looking at the vanity metrics, right? Of like
Mhm.
opens and views and stuff like that. But those numbers don't really tell you the full story of like what people were actually thinking, what their impressions were. Maybe it was a good reminder. So yeah,
And
thanks
I
for
think
that. I just continue
and I think
posting then, I guess.
and that's why I try to comment on your things, because it's needed for reach. If we
Hmm.
comment on each other things, it will reach more people. So, but it's very seldom that I see a short, at least when I'm scrolling shorts at like 8 o'clock at night, trying
Right. You're
to
not
mid-
you're not
Yeah, I'm not
actually
like writing a comment to the person making the bookcase or whatever. It shows up in my feed.
right.
And whenever I get tech content, I just swipe away. I don't want VS Code tips, 8 o'clock at night when I'm
Right.
doom scrolling. But VS Code pops up in my brain. Like, even if I didn't watch the video, it's
Right.
like, oh yeah, VS Code or whatever it is. Like it still it
Hmm.
gets that like little like hit that I was like, oh. So I was thinking with, if user lists start showing up in my feed, even if I swipe away, it would be enough to be like, oh yeah, I was meant to look
Right.
at that.
Yeah.
Or yeah. But you
Yeah, that's a
need
good
the
point.
engagement to reach people, because that's we've
Hmm.
seen on shorts and stuff, that as soon as people start commenting or even downvoting, if they start downvoting, we get more reach.
Is
Because
downvoting even a
then
feature? I didn't know that.
on shorts there is, so you
Oh,
don't get to
interesting.
see how many downvotes you get, but you get like, you have 2 upvotes, and that's a 50% distribution between your downvotes and your upvotes.
Interesting. Okay. I should probably look into the metrics a little bit more. But like, yeah, for now, probably just like continue posting a little bit more.
Yeah. And if you're not becoming, if your goal isn't to be an influencer and make money directly off of the content, I think it's more important that, as you said, you hit this one person with this video and he was like, "Oh, I didn't know you could do that." Now he knows the next time he meets somebody who
Mhm.
who needs that. But if you were, getting money from Snapchat based on how long people reviewing your videos, then
Yeah,
that's a different ball game altogether.
that's a good way to see it. Yeah. I like it. Thanks for
Yeah,
that. That was helpful.
yeah.
One last thing I want to mention, because we've been like rethinking our social media strategy, like both for me personally, but also for the company and also for this podcast, I started using Postpone for our social media scheduling a couple weeks ago. Not sure if I mentioned them already, but like we just last week or the week before migrated all of our stuff from Buffer into Postpone, and even added a couple of more social media stuff, like for example YouTube. I'm not even sure that was possible in Buffer, but it's such a nice app. Like I actually enjoy going in there and like scheduling posts, and there's so many nice little features that maybe Buffer had at some point, or I don't know, for whatever reason. At some point, Buffer's UI just felt like super clunky and cumbersome to work with, and with Postpone, it's just a joy to work with. I really, I mean, it's not. I don't want to say it's the perfect app. There are like little problems here and there, but for the most part, it's super solid, super fun, super fast. And they even have like a feature where you can put in your podcast feed or website blog post feed, and it will just like either auto generate posts and auto post them, or at least generate the drafts. And it has a little AI in there that you can like use to write posts for you, which I'm not using that much, but still, like it's super nice. And Bono's there, userless customer, so it feels like
Hey,
working with
keeping it
friends.
in the family.
keeping in the
I
family.
protect the families, as Taylor
They are
Swift says.
also they are also a tiny seed company, so it makes double sense to support them. And if you haven't heard of them, recommend checking them out. It's postpone.app. So yeah, highly recommend it.
Because I started using Publer, which does all of those things, but I wouldn't say it's enjoyable. It's like,
I mean, who knows, right?
it
Like maybe
gets the job done.
You try this and decide it's not as enjoyable, but I enjoy working with it.
Yeah, I like that. That is a huge factor for me with tools. And I think it's one of the things that we gloss over a little bit when it comes to, features, and does it do XYZ? Does it do and all of and pricing and all of those things? But if it's one of those services or apps that should help you do things you don't really want to do, enjoyable is an important aspect. If your to-do app is a little bit more enjoyable than the next, then maybe you log in and check off those to-dos.
Yeah, true. And I think UI and UX is still a big factor in all of them. Like, if it feels nice to use, then I'm more likely to use it.
Yeah.
Anyways, TLDR, I guess there will be more of our content across all the platforms in the near future.
Wait, and I'm a one-woman comment machine, trying to comment on the things when I see them to get you some more reach.
Thank you. I will try and remember to do the same. Yeah. Anything else from your side, or are you just like focusing on A, lemonade stand, B, getting better, and C, bachelor party?
And D, do some work on Wii.
Are you actually going to do some work on Wii between now and next week? Probably not, right?
We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
I'll bring my laptop and do some work every now and then. It's been a while since I was in New York last, but I had like a really good work session at the main library. They have this like beautiful library in Manhattan that's open to the public, and it's just gorgeous. And I sat there and coded for a couple of hours, and it had air conditioning, or I don't know if it had air conditioning, but at least it was cool. This was in a different month where it was very warm in New York. So if I don't think I will do hard work, but a little bit here and there whenever it feels. Cool. I'm a bad tourist. I like to just sit in cafes or other places and absorb the atmosphere, and often having a laptop makes you blend in more than if you're just staring at people. But I think the hip thing now is an actual paper books. Maybe I should bring one of the paper books that I've gotten lately and like sit in cafes and read.
Or go to the library and look at an actual book from the library.
That is also true. That is also true. I think in this where they have the work area, they have like these glassed-in books that you're not allowed to look in, like old books.
Okay. Well,
But they have it's a
anyways.
library, so they have other books as well, of course. But
Mhm.
maybe I should leave my laptop. This is an interesting question.
I feel like last episode you were like talking about not bringing your laptop, so I'm a little bit surprised that you're
Did I?
now. I
Did I
think
say I
so.
wasn't
Yeah,
gonna bring my laptop?
I think so. There was something along those lines, either either in the episode itself or before or after when we talked. I think you were like, "I'm not bringing my laptop," and I'm like, "Yeah, that's a bold move. I I would like to be able to
Maybe
do
I
that."
should just do that. That would be insane. It feels like I feel anxious.
Yeah, I know. I can relate.
What if I want to watch Netflix? Like,
most hotels have Netflix on the screens already now. By now,
you mean there's other ways of consuming entertainment than my laptop? Okay.
and there's still
I'm
your
gonna give
phone,
it-
right?
Yeah, my phone is crap though. I'm gonna give it a hard think and talk it through with the family, and we'll see where we land.
Because, like, if you think about it, worst case scenario, you have to get on the phone and then, I don't know, go to a library or whatever and remote control your
Something.
laptop from remote or something like that. You can figure it out if
Yeah.
you need to.
But also, my laptop is so small; it's almost like an iPad, so it like feels like a
I mean, do what you want. I'm not
slides
here
in
to
there.
tell you what you do. I'm just like,
No,
I was surprised that you
interesting.
suggested that, and
Yeah.
Anyways,
I don't remember doing that, but maybe I had a wild moment.
maybe.
Okay. Talk to you in 2 weeks.
Yep.
And see you around the interwebs. Bye-bye.
Bye.